What's up, y'all? This is Hammer here again, back with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about Andrew Tate, his recent arrest, and some new information that's starting to come out in regards to his arrest in Romania and the fact that Andrew Tate may have potentially committed rape and sexual trafficking, essentially, right? Now, for those who may not know, Andrew Tate is a popular sort of social media personality. He essentially blew up for essentially talking about male issues and men's rights, stuff like that. He was he's somebody who has millions of dollars, has a lot of followers, and recently news broke out that essentially he was arrested with along with his brother for human sex trafficking. Right now, of course, this he was arrested before, but this time, he's actually going to be arrested for I think almost like 30 days. And it seems like this time maybe a little different. Now, as someone like me, I don't really watch Andrew Tate. I don't listen to him a lot, but I do realize that he essentially is somebody that came out of sort of the manosphere wave, right? Because for a lot of men, a lot of young men, especially in the Western world, they tend to not have. It's like nobody in mainstream media is really advocating for boys and men. It's always girls or LGBT or something, right? So having dudes, especially a guy like Andrew Tate who's talking about man issues, specifically white male issues, it kind of allowed him to get really popular. But when this happened, right, a lot of people, especially in the manosphere, especially in male spaces, are saying, "Oh, this is the Matrix. This is the government. This is the feminists coming together to go after Andrew Tate." And I definitely do believe that nation states have every reason to go after the manosphere and guys like him. Because I said before, y'all, is that the biggest beneficiaries to feminism is not women; it's actually the state. People don't understand, right? Because remember, feminism and essentially bringing women into the workplace increases the tax base for the state, right? It allows them to have more workers, in the economy in general, right? And it also allows them to essentially reduce the power the average man has. Because now, instead of the father, quote unquote, having complete ownership of the kids, right now the power over the woman and the children gets handed over to the state. So really the biggest beneficiary of feminism is the state. So if you want to quote unquote get rid of feminism, you're gonna have to fight the state. But with that being said, yo, I'm going to talk about this article that recently came out. I think this article has a lot of allegations in regards to what may be going on. And if what this article is saying is true, then there's a pretty good chance that Andrew Tate is going to go to jail. Before we go into that, guys, let's get into our intro. Before I get into the article, let me just say something, right? Although I understand Andrew Tate's perspective in regards to being an alpha male, in regards to being, a guy who dominates, the problem is that Andrew Tate is a I will say a 10%, 1% dude. The guy is over 6 foot. He was I think he was a former kickboxer, I believe. So he can fight. He's tall. He's in shape. He has millions of dollars. So a lot of the advice he's giving only applies to him because the average guy, right, who's making basic income, whose average height is just not going to be able to do what he does. And one to say, look, the problem with what was rhetoric is that, look, you still live in a feminine society. And so if you go out here and you push things too far, they will use that against you. So let's get into the article and see exactly what is being alleged here. So I'm just going to read real quickly, right? So Andrew Tate kept 6 women under house arrest 24/7 at prisoners, is alleged. This great social media influencer was arrested in Romania as part of a human trafficking and rape investigation and will be held in jail for 30 days. The 36-year-old was detained alongside his brother Tristan, 34, and their assistants Georgina Nehel and Luana Radu at the 600,000-pound villa in the capital Bucharest on December 29. Officials close to the in other words, guys, just to give you evidence, there was a police investigation here, and the article is telling us exactly what they're investigating. And if what this article is saying is true, then he's in real trouble. Officials close to the police investigation say that Tate acts as employees who shadow his victims' every move and forced them to take part in online pornographic videos. Now, if you guys not catch that, okay. So essentially what they're saying here is that Andrew Tate, right, had essentially 6 women, right, that essentially he was having his employees follow. And according to what they're saying, he forced these 6 women to engage in pornographic videos, right, online. Okay, let's keep going. The abuse was physical and emotional. They were not allowed to leave the house without security. They were watched day and night. A Romanian judicial source. Okay, so these are officials close to the case. They were essentially kept under house arrest 24/7 like prisoners. They were deprived of their freedom and followed everywhere. The 6 victims were alleged to have taken part in videos on the adult content platforms OnlyFans and the video sharing app TikTok, with the 2 brothers allegedly pocketing all the proceeds. So, in other words, these are 6 women, okay? And what they're alleging here is that Andrew Tate essentially according to what they're saying, forced them to engage in sexual activity on OnlyFans and on TikTok. And that all the money that was made from those sexual activities did not go to the girls. Let's keep going. Prosecutors, so this is a prosecutor, okay, so this is what the prosecutors are alleging. Prosecutors allege Tate recruited the women on social media platforms based on false promises of his love and intention to marry them. Now, that's very important, guys, because when you have dudes, and this is a problem I had with the whole game shit, right? When guys say, "Well, man, if you just had game, right? You know, if you just had game, go to these women, tell them what's up, bro." That does not work in real life. All these game dudes telling you how you the alpha your what. In real life, if you're a man and you act that way, that's a legal charge. And it looks like Andrew Tate, went online, tried to quote unquote, use game on some women, try to recruit them, say, "I'm gonna marry, I'm gonna love you," got them to engage in sexual activity on Pornhub. Now, according to what the women are saying, they were forced to do it. In other words, he said, "Hey, if you do it, then I'll love you," right? So that they did it, and the money that was made didn't go to them. And so that's kind of what he's been accused of. The tactic known as the lover boy method is often used by criminals to recruit victims who are suffering from economic hardship by seducing them with gifts and promises of a better life abroad. Okay, let's keep going. We have information based on what they said on social media that one of the girls brought in up to 50,000 pounds a month. Now, keep this in mind. So what they're saying is that Andrew Tate recruited these 6 girls, right, promising them love and marriage, got them essentially, according to what the girls saying, right, forced them to engage in sexual activity. And now, guys, these are according to quote unquote the officials that are close to the case. So the quote unquote officials that work on this case on him. And according to what they're saying here, these women were making close to 50,000 pounds. 44,000, I think, pounds, right? A month. So close to 40,000 to 50,000 pounds they were making a month, guys, okay, off of them engaging in quote unquote sexual activity on OnlyFans. And all of that money did not go to the girls. It went to apparently Andrew Tate and his brother. The women allegedly include 1 American, 1 Moldovan, and 4 Romanian nationals. So this is the reason why he's being charged in Romania, because 4 of the women were essentially Romanian nationals. The dawn raid at the Bucharest villa was carried out by officers from the city's anti-organized crime unit and was part of a 9-month investigation culminating in Tate's arrest and a search of the villa, which lasted more than 12 hours. A video carried out from the raids showed officers recovering guns, knives, and money. The investigation was started when Romanian investigators began the probe when the U.S. Embassy in Bucharest raised the alarm about after diplomats discovered an American woman was being. Oh my Lord! So, according to what they're saying here, okay, let's go back up here. It's very important. So the 6 women, 1 American, 1 Moldovan, and 4 women nationals. So one of the women who are involved is an American female. So if she, and based on what I'm hearing her, it's probably a white female. She's a white female and she's American. Lord have mercy. So, according to what they're saying here, the investigation into Andrew Tate actually began because of the U.S. Embassy over there. So the U.S. Embassy in Romania essentially, right, they discovered that in other words, that so remember guys, right? The six women here, right? One of them is American, one of them is Moldovan and from Romania, right? So the American female that was quote unquote being held against the will, that was being forced to engage in these quote unquote, sexual activities, on OnlyFans, and all the money that was being made was going to the tape. She apparently went to the U.S. Embassy, right, and said that she was being held against her will. Okay. Or in other words, they essentially came to discover that, hey, there's an American woman essentially who's being held against her will, and the culprit is Andrew Tate. And so after discovering this, the U.S. Embassy reached out then to the Romanians and said, hey, look, you guys need to invest. In other words, this investigation of Andrew Tate actually was started by the U.S. Embassy there, right? Very important. Now, this is, of course, this is the problem I have with these game dudes info, right? Why are you gonna post videos flaunting your stuff like this? Let's sorry, post images. But let's keep going. So in other words, guys, keep this in mind. Okay, so the reason why they're being arrested for sex trafficking and rape is because they had six women apparently that were being held against the will, in Andrew Tate's home, were being forced to, according to what they're saying, being forced to engage in sexual activity on OnlyFans and other sites. And they were making close to 40,000 to 50K pounds a month, and the money was all going to Andrew Tate. And apparently, this investigation began because the U.S. Embassy discovered that one of the women that were being held against the will was an American female, and so they alerted the Romanian authorities, and that's when it began. And if everything, and based on what I'm seeing here, all of the information they've gotten from all the information that they've gotten has gotten they've been able to receive from Romanian sources. U.S. So if everything they're saying here is accurate, Andrew Tate, there's a really good chance he's gonna go to jail. Okay, so the 22-year-old American woman who cannot be named for legal reasons managed to okay, I get it. So here's what happened. So the 22-year-old woman, right, who cannot, so she managed to recover her mobile phone, called her boyfriend in the U.S. who alerted the embassy. Now, it's crazy because she's out here engaging in sexual activity, but I guess she probably told her boyfriend that, hey, I'm being forced, right? But anyway, so she was being held against her will on Andrew Tate's home, according to what they're saying. She took her phone, she called her boyfriend, and her boyfriend then alerted the U.S. Embassy, and the U.S. Embassy alerted the Romanian authorities, and this is what happened. Now, if everything they're saying here is true, and that these six women were held against their will, and they were forced to, perform, quote unquote, sexual activities on OnlyFans, and they were taking all the money. Yeah, there's a really good chance he's gonna get charged. But we'll see what happens. Tate also runs the Hustler Academy, where 127,000 men mostly pay him $30,000 a month for someone getting rich and doing life. Okay, so this is we're reading about Hustler Academy, right? The misogynist social media influencer previously said him and his brother moved to Romania to receive less scrutiny from the police. The lawyers representing Tate's brother, Eugene V. Dianic, was unable to reply to mail's request for comment. His name has been cast into the limelight recently when he got involved in a Twitter spat with prominent environmental activist Greta Thunberg. He was arrested 24 hours after the person revealed himself eating pizza and trolling Ms. Thunberg. So that's essentially where it ends. So this is what's so crazy about this conversation, right? About this story is that this is in other words is the information that a lot of news organizations have been able to get from the authorities there, right? This is sort of the least they're able to get. And to be honest, everything they're saying is adding up. Everything they're saying, because now his arrest was increased to 30 days. Now, whether or not they charge him, we'll see. But based on what I'm seeing here, if if all the tips and information they've been getting is true, there's a good chance he'll be charged of not just sexual trafficking, but also rape. Because according to the six women involved, they were forced to, quote unquote, engage in sexual activities on OnlyFans. Now, I'm assuming that these sexual activities also involved Andrew Tate, which the authorities could interpret as, quote unquote, him, quote unquote, raping them. You essentially are forcing these women to engage in sexual activities with you on OnlyFans, right? So these are sort of the allegations that are being thrown out here. Now, we'll see what the authorities do, and we'll see what goes on. But, guys, that's what I have now. Guys, tell me what you guys think about it. Do you think Andrew will go to jail? And if he does get charged, how will you feel about it? But with that being said, I'm gonna leave it up there. Make sure to like, share, the video, like, share, subscribe, share the video, and with that being said, hammer out.